Should we keep our kids in public schools in order to be salt and light in the culture? This is a very difficult question, and I don't think there's just one right answer that I can give you, but I do think this is a question that Christian parents have to struggle with. They have to grapple with and wrestle with and think carefully through this, because no matter what you do with your kids, you and I have to be intentional. So if you're going to put your kids in public school, then you're going to have to be intentional. If you're homeschooling your kids, you're going to have to be intentional. If they're in private Christian school, you're going to have to be intentional no matter what you do. But you're going to have to be intentional in different ways. But I think we have to wrestle with this one because I think the culture has just gotten worse, and it continues to get worse. And of course, when you add technology and social media with the moral degradation of society, I think it provides even greater challenges for parents. And so this is why I don't think it's an easy question to answer, because different kids are at different stages, and different families do different jobs in terms of discipling their own kids. So there's not just a one-size-fits-all here. But I do want to say here's a couple things you need to think about. Someone might say, well, if I want to teach my kid how to swim, I want to teach them how to swim. They should learn how to be strong swimmers. Why don't I just throw them in a raging river? Well, of course you're not going to do that, right? Because you realize that they're going to get swept away. They're going to be in water where there's an opportunity to swim, but if they're in a river that's got a strong enough current, they're just going to be swept down the river, right? Now, in that case, you'd say, well, okay, no, let's start them in the kind of the kiddie pool or waters that I can protect them more. I think we've got to think through that as well as parents. I think there's some appropriate protection that we have to give our kids in order to equip them with the truth so that they can be salt and light in the culture. So there's appropriate protection, not so that we just keep them isolated from the world, but so that we can equip them to become salt and light. Salt and light is the end goal. Now, how you get there is different for each of us, but there has to be a process. And my concern is that too many parents throw their kids in to the culture without adequately preparing them. So look, if you're going to put your kid in public school starting in kindergarten, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think you better be ready to begin equipping them when they're 2 and 3, and you better have a good intentional plan. So I don't think we can say it's wrong or right to put your kids in public school or private school or homeschool them, but we do want to think through the wisdom question. What is wise? It's going to depend upon you and your family, your kid and where they're at, and then kind of a plan to best disciple them so that ultimately in the long term they can be salt and light. So this is something we have to wrestle with. Obviously, hopefully you're seeing we're wrestling with this. My own kids have been in all 3, public, private, and homeschool. And we're finding that for us right now, the best preparation is homeschooling them so that we can help them be salt and light. That's the end goal. Now, that's not a possibility for everyone. I understand that. But no matter what path you take, you're going to have to be intentional. You're going to have to spend a lot of time. There's going to have to be a lot of preparation in order for them to be salt and light, which is the long-term goal.